give a rebuttal to all this now?
Of course.
Okay. Well, poppycock is words I have to say for this because, quite frankly, Gina Carvalho, I have a police report here where I had to call. I talked to the managers about her dealing drugs on the property. They were not listening to me. They were non-compliant.
I'd like to see.
I'd
like to see the police report.
Yes, then I called the police. I called the police the same evening. The police come out and deal.
Just let me see the police report.
Why she'd want to come on national.
I can't read and listen to you at the same
television.
time.
I have no idea. And expose herself.
Did you know that in July he made a report to the police?
Yes, ma'am.
About dealing meth from your house?
That was the conversation when I went to speak with him.
I'm just asking you. Did you know that he had called the police with regard to that? Did you ask him what led him to make this call?
I did.
And what did he tell you?
He told me that he felt that Gina was distributing methamphetamines. I asked him if he had any evidence of that regard, and he did not.
What did he say?
He said that, unfortunately, he didn't have any evidence of that.
Is that what you answered him?
Yes, I did. But I went further on to state that one of the other people that I was concerned about in the house and her being dope sick anytime she couldn't get drugs from Gina, my care and concern for her also.
Okay. You got a temporary restraining order.
I did, ma'am.
That was...
Retribution.
I have a stack of incident reports and phone calls that he made to the police. A stack.
Now, the restraining order put you out of the house until almost the end of your lease.
Correct.
So that was a couple of weeks, because first you were removed from the house, you lived in a hotel for a while.
Then I went to court and it was dismissed.
And it was dismissed. Did you appear in court?
Ma'am,
the answer is either yes or no.
No, I did not.
Now you're going to tell me the reason you did not appear in court.
Because, ma'am, I felt like when I filed the restraining order, the protection order, it was because I felt like I was in imminent danger and everybody else in the house was in imminent danger. Ma'am,
you filed a police report on the 9th. The return date was what date?
I don't know what the return court date was off the top of my head, ma'am.
Well, you go to court to file a restraining order. You file it, and they tell you when to come back.
Right. And I don't know the date of that. I do not know that off the top of my head right now.
Well, when you came back, did you tell either of these two gentlemen that you had filed for a protective order?
Yes, ma'am. Eric was with me when I filed it.
And so you went with her to file it.
Yes.
And they gave you a return date. And the return date was August 21st.
That makes sense.
Correct, yes.
Now, you went with her to file it. Why didn't you go with her on the return date?
I honestly got busy with work. I did not remember what time, what date the actual court date was. I gave her all the paperwork from it. I was hoping that she would keep me informed on when it was so that we could go together. I could take her to it.
You mean you went with her? You had to have looked at the papers. It says notice of hearing, August 21st, 9 a.m.
Correct, yeah.
And the order of protection put him out of the house. Now, you kept his security deposit.
Yes.
Why?
The first and last month's rent and the security deposit was given to us from the organization that he was a part of.
Did you return it to them?
No. We had to spend many hours moving. Okay.
Who cares? You determined not to go through an eviction proceeding. You're the owner of the premises. You live there. You knew of the problems that were there. And if you wanted to get rid of him prior to the termination of his lease, you have to have him evicted. That's what you do. You take his money. You've created a landlord and tenant relationship. And what you don't do is you don't use a different form, like a restraining order, removing someone from their house to circumvent what the law is with regard to landlord and tenant, because you were a landlord. You went there with her, so you know that. I didn't ask you anything.
Yes, ma'am.
So far.
Okay.
So if you put him out in the middle of the month and you had to go in there and clean up trash and you were moving somebody else in, because I read the papers, into a place that had been carpeted, did they leave the carpet? Because you have a new lady living there. Did she leave the carpet?
The carpet is still there.
Just a second. The carpet is still there?
Yes.
And the walls are still painted?
There.
So whatever little work he did in order to make this place habitable, what you did was you got rid of trash, and you had to spend hours in doing that. That's too bad, because you didn't use an eviction process. That would be you.